Good evening, guys. I got another Breakout Beast, and this time I wanted to show you something different, more or less, on what they look like as you put them together. Most of the things I've seen on YouTube, everybody basically speed runs the process of what it looks like to put it together. It takes about 5 minutes. It's not terribly hard. Excuse me, forgot something real quick. There we go. Now I got it. But basically, it comes in two breakaway plastic things. One thing I did notice that some of the YouTubers are doing, they have a code on the bottom of the egg, and it's really intended to, you get to use that code to say what you got, so you don't get doubles. It's not terribly hard. It's basically more or less a serial number. Everything has a number or item number or what have you, and it's a sense of tracking. But also for collectors, it keeps you from collecting the same characters all the time. As I've said, this really is the last year I'm going, really all out for video games. I'm going to be collecting more things like either Breakout Beasts or model cars or model vehicles. And my wife has said she wanted to join me first. Sorry, I fell. But basically, I am okay with that it comes in a plastic thing because with pressure changes like the going in the mountains or any other elevation, you're gonna want to have pressurized packaging. And all the people on YouTube, oh, I was expecting it to come this way and be in the egg. Well, yeah, you can't really safely do that because you are transporting a fluid. And fluids, there is certain transportation rules that, you know, distributors have to follow. And that's one of them. It has to be bound in two little plastic thingies. But basically, it comes like this. Um, and the code that the guy told me on YouTube was correct. This is for the code was the code for Grifforce, and he's a Griffin. I another lucky pull on my part. When I was at Best Buy today, I was saying to myself, "Boy, I really hope I pull the Griffin thing because I really want to pull the Griffin because I think the Griffin guy is pretty cool." And so basically what most people have done is they tear this thing off and they pour it into the egg itself to separate it, and I will too. And it's just to keep track of everything. You pour it in here. It doesn't take terribly long. I know a lot of people don't want to see this, but you know what? This is what you will deal with if you don't want to make a YouTube video, or just this is what you really have to deal with. The amount of time. And granted, my time will be a little bit slower than the rest of everyone else because I'm on discussing this in a YouTube channel. And there's often slime inside the bag still that you have to fish out. And they're easy to get. It's not terribly hard. There it is. uh, it's really, I love the feeling. This is like I said before. This is the first slime I actually enjoyed messing with because of how smooth it is. It's like Jello almost. And here I poured all the pieces in the bigger half of the egg. And so you dig the pieces out of the slime, like if you've seen Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, where Saruman digs the Uruk-hai out of the little mud sack thing. Um, basically, that's how I feel every time I assemble these things. But I said I'm gonna be doing more things like this and assembling things because there's something about working with your hands, assembling things, modeling. It puts my mind more at ease than I initially thought as I was with video games. Someone once told me that I eventually I'll understand that carving or working with your hands is more beneficial than, at least in my day and age, than playing with video games. And I thought the guy was crazy. Ironically, I was at the VA hospital when the guy told me that, and lo and behold, it would appear that he's right. Um, there's nothing wrong with video games in general. I've told you before of all the benefits with playing video games. Um, the video gaming industry is about to each go through a massive change from what we once knew it as. And for me, I think it's going to be a good time to bow out of the whole industry and focus on my kids and my family. You know, I'm not going to get every last, the end of December this year, I don't intend on buying more video games. My mom and the rest of my wife, she doesn't care either way. But my mom and is really not. She wants me to stop. She doesn't believe that I will, but she thinks there's better things I can be doing with my time. And maybe she's right. Maybe she's not. I'm not gonna get in that debate. That's a whole kettle of worms for another day. But I want to just show you. I mean, you dig pieces out. This piece is the more or less the upper chest, the chest region where the rest of the limbs and everything connect. These are water soluble, as others have said. It doesn't leave a massively terrible mess like most slimes that you'd probably be aware of. Um, right, almost. I'm using some of the pieces to dig the rest of the slime out. I like I said, I don't mind the slime, but I'm going to be displaying them in an area where I prefer there not be any slime. It does dry. It's not a terrible. It's not going to be a very bad thing. I think I got as much as I can out of there. It's going on 8 minutes. Again, that's mostly because I'm talking to you guys instead of focusing on this. And it's fine. It's not bad. It's manageable. Um, E3 is going on right now. If you guys are watching, personally, I think the best conference so far was Nintendo. I'm no Nintendo by any means, but they generally put out the best shows primarily because they're willing to give you a gameplay footage of the games you want to see, the games you're looking forward to. For example, um, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is coming out in July, and everybody was floored when it was initially announced a few months ago, and they were overjoyed. And I kind of am too. I really like what they did, that they brought that in there. Because that's I liked the first two games. I didn't really beat them, but for what they were, I enjoyed them. Um, kind of funny that the last time we had the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, Nick Fury was the original white Nick Fury from the Amazing Universe. This game is truly set in the Ultimate Universe. Um, yes, Marvel is one of the two leading comic industries that deal with multiple universes. Marvel is more obvious, and they tell you, hey, this is the 2099 universe, or this is this universe, or whatever. DC doesn't really do that too well, and WB is really, really screwing up the whole DC canon. If for example, the Flash from the TV series is not the same Flash from the Justice League, and they've even now they're going through yet another Batman movie and another origin story. We don't need another origin story. But anyways, back to this. It's going to be set in the Ultimate Universe, and I've put in comments in, for example, in RGT85's video. I'm gonna be a gaming hermit starting next year. I think I really mean it with the dawn of change that's before us. I think now is a good time to pretty much bow out and you know call it quits. Because I had a good run with my video games, and I'll still play my video games. I'm just not going to support the gaming industry anymore. They want to create a whole new rules, all new predatory tactics. It's more than just loot boxes anymore. It's getting to the point where now they'd rather make mobile games just because they think there's a bigger market than, say, PC base. Both Bethesda and the Wizards of the Coast are both. They don't want to support PC or the other video games. They want to make a mobile game, but the rest of the world, they don't want to play mobile games anymore. Buy big PCs, and they put big PCs together just so they can do that. All right, I got. Oh, good. It's actually white and brown. I didn't even notice that. That the color scheme actually fits. In fact, I'm customized one of my flying characters because the color scheme of these things didn't go right with the one I had. I felt so I changed it. But this is basically the scruff piece of a. If you were to look at a bird, well, I like, for example, an eagle. They'd have a feathery mane like scruff piece. That's kind of what this is. It's self-explanatory. I can look in this sheet to do it, but it's really really self-explanatory. And you just snap that in there until you feel and hear a snap, and it works perfectly. It went in. Um, let's see. Ah, ah, ah. There it is. The head. Uh, fishing through the slime right here. It's not terribly messy. It comes off really easily. It's really, you know. But like I said, when I first put this together using my hands, I got a certain satisfaction out of doing this, out of putting this piece together, out of making a progress. I feel like I'm accomplishing something, and it's more than what a video game has ever been able to do for me in the past. I'll still, like I said, I'll still play video games. In fact, after this tonight, I'm probably going to get back into Diablo 3 because I'm having so much fun with that game. I've beaten that game, and I'm already going through a fresh run, and it feels like a brand new game. I think the there's a lot to be said for that, and the seems like gaming developers are losing sight of that. They just want to make a game, and if it doesn't have a paywall from you know down under, or if it doesn't have loot boxes, or if it doesn't you know entice you into paying for something else, like for example a season pass. One thing about Diablo, the creators never felt the need to do that. Um, Personally, I don't feel the need to go online because I've said before, I'm finding just as much stuff in my single run through than going through, um, you know, digging for new pieces. And here's a front arm, a forearm. It's got a big, feathery talons and claws. That really, it's really, like I said, it's a certain satisfaction putting these together. There we go. I gotta find the rest of them. And is that a leg or a tail? That's a leg. There we go. All right. Just felt it rip right out. That was again, like I said, it's satisfaction. And you can take these parts out. I'm doing this because every time I've dealt with these so far, there's always been slime in between the toes, and it's made it was formerly Mega Bloks, Lego's leading competitor. Um, I know Nintendo NMB tried to go into competition, um, and they weren't as customizable as Mega Bloks or its other competitors. Oh, yeah! Here it is. That's the stand. I don't think I need to fish anything. Yep, there we go. Ah, darn it. Oh well. I'll deal with that later. It'll come out. There we go. I wouldn't recommend that maneuver for those of you who are young. If you are young and you're watching my channel, get a parent to do that. I'm close to 40, so I know how to deal with a blade and be safe. But if you're young, just let a parent do that for you. It's not that big a deal. You can still put the rest of it together. That's the one thing I would ask of my viewers is if you're young and you need a knife or something packaging to be cut or whatever, just go get a parent and be safe. You don't need to risk injuring yourself just to play a toy. That's insane. And if you're not mentally well enough to deal with the same thing, get someone who's mentally stable to deal with this and get the thing for you. I know people think mental illness is something to be laughed at, but it's not. There's that's the other piece for the base. Mental illness it's real. Um, Not a lot of places in my example, in my case, VA hospitals, they view disabilities and as a joke, and they're not willing to help you with what you need. Um, I've learned that the hard way, and that's, like I said, so I need to stay mentally active. They in my experiences dealing with the VA, they still view um, PTSD and other mental illnesses as a joke. It's sad that no one is really willing to help you when you need help. But that's the reality of it, unfortunately. As you can see, I can pretty much hold the slime in my hand without it going anywhere. Yes, it's gonna make a nice oozy effect, but it's viscous is the word I guess I can use. It really it's the smoothest slime I've ever encountered. Ooh, that one smells like Germix. It smells like Germix.
Not a little bit.
Sorry. Back to the regular show. And I can fit the rest of it into my egg. And this time, because Alicia doesn't have much space in her big berth of slime, I'll probably keep it in my egg. I probably will. But basically, yeah. Here we go. Oh, let's see. Oh, good. Like I said, you guys probably could have been done with this within 15 minutes. I'm basically done now, and that's because I spent time talking to you guys. Yeah, it's okay. And there's no competition. Everyone's at their own pace and their own speeds. So whatever. I got 6 knuckle pieces, and I'll figure out where they go. I'm gonna put the hind leg in. Hold on. There we go. There are new tricks on how to get it out of every crevice and hole. And all right, pretty good. I did pretty good with the getting the slime out. And real quick, I'm gonna look real quick where the one thing I think it goes on the underside because there's not much of a place on the top part, but I'll look anyways, just to see where it would go. Give myself state of mind. Oh, on the back. Okay. I was kind of thinking that would be the only other place it would be on the back. And I think that's because they really want to sell this stand when they really don't really need to. You can prop these things up on the bases. Like you can fit. I've done this with all my other ones. You can fit it like that, and you can balance the thing on there really easily. Um, it's like Legos. It basically has a two-piece right there, so it's not that hard. But here you go. I'm gonna put that right there, and I'm gonna put the other leg right there. Um, put these bad boys. I'm gonna put it down like that. Go. And put these down like that, and I'm gonna put the knuckle pieces. Yeah, knuckle pieces right there. Look at this thing again. I didn't think to look at this thing again. Let's see. No, he does not have horns. Knuckle piece. Oh, it goes on the back. Little back dugger pieces. Okay. Cool. It works. You can move the pieces everywhere, like I said before. But I was just explaining to you how I felt about the whole situation with EA gaming and devs like EA who are really, really doing so much stuff. On brighter news, Konami's actually doing something right. They're actually in the spotlight and getting the the games that we liked, like Contra, for example. It's getting a special collection release today. You can probably go on if you have a Nintendo Switch. You can probably go and pick it up. Probably gonna be $20. I'll probably get it at the end of the month. And they also have a whole new game coming in out in September. Again, I'm gonna pick up. I am a big Contra fan and a shmup fan in general, and I'm gonna support Konami. I can't believe I'm saying that because there's a certain hashtag that I won't repeat on my channel, but primarily because of how dirty Contra dealt Hideo Kojima with Metal Gear Solid 5. I wasn't a major Metal Gear Solid fan, but I had friends who were, and I've played a little bit of it. And, back when Hideo Kojima was still sane, he's unique, I will say. He's a very unique individual. Some of his games are hit or miss. I don't know what you think about him. I never really liked the whole warfare style games. That's why I couldn't really get into it. And he gets a back piece. And he looks like a pretty mean beast. It looks pretty cool. Most Griffins though are friendly. But yeah, that's pretty something. And right at around the 30-minute mark. But yeah, Konami's doing good stuff, but like I said though, this will be the last year. You'll see more stuff like this from me in the future, probably if it's not D&D related. Alicia wants to get a D&D. I'm not gonna share with you what I'm gonna do in my campaign, but I'm gonna tell you more or less what it's about or something like that. We'll all discuss with Alicia, my wife, about that. But I'm all for doing stuff like that, and I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. Um, I think out of the two things I have, I'd say this guy and darn it, Thunder Force, the Flying Orange Wolf. um, I think these two are, and my three favorite, I should say, the Orange Flying Wolf, this guy, and Tempest. I think are my all time favorites here. And again, this is really decent size, really solid figure, really good quality. Um, Still in the blind bag category. If someone were to look it up, he's got a wolf's tail, but that's okay. Griffins are sort of, they get a pass on that. But I'm glad that it's not always dragons. I love dragons, but I'm cool with mythological beasts such as griffins or hippogriffs or you know flying wolves or gargoyles, for example. But I have a use for this guy. I'm gonna figure out how to use him. Yeah, just gonna be a sound thing. Anyways, um, that concludes my video. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening.